The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The Knicks in Boston, always an adventure. Jaylen Brown, season-high 42. Mikal Bridges for the Knicks, career-high 8 threes, 35 points. Knicks down 18 to start the fourth quarter. They're within 3. Would we see a repeat of last year in the playoffs? No. Jordan Walsh made the most of his fourth quarter contributions, finished with 8 points, was key down the stretch there. And the Celtics win at 123-117. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. And what a crazy game.
Wow.
Bill Pidto, Hahn, Wally Szczerbiak. Wally, so the Knicks outscored by 29 points combined in quarters 2 and 3.
Yep.
They're down 18 after 3, and they got within 3, and you're thinking, here we go again. But Boston was able to prevail.
Yeah, Boston just made a few key plays. They just manipulated matchups masterfully. I mean, that's what they did. They got the matchups they wanted. Once Jaylen Brown saw a smaller defender on him, he just went right at him. The way they dominated the paint, the way they dominated scoring in the mid-range, the way they shot twos, upwards of 75%.
36 of 47 Boston was from 2 tonight.
There you go.
36 of 47.
And I understand the Knicks are trying to defend the three-point line. Boston's a great three-point shooting team. They try to get a bunch up. But with this personnel, they are manipulating matchups in a much different way. They're being patient, trying to manipulate good shots. And defensively, their effort was outstanding starting in that second quarter. Knicks had a great first quarter, but then come the second quarter, Knicks had some holes when the guys came in off the bench. Those second and third quarters cannot happen if you want to beat a good team like the Celtics.
What did we say in the pregame? The Knicks are walking into something.
Yes.
Right? Like Joe Mazzulla was going to have this team ready. The Knicks saw them in the second game of the season. They were still trying to figure some stuff out in the beginning with no Jason Tatum, with different lineups, really a whole new roster. But of late, they have played a lot better, way more competitive. And while the game started out in Knicks' favor, knocking down threes, that second quarter was a physical quarter and a message-sending quarter by the Celtics to the Knicks, and the Knicks did not respond well. And that's another time now a team has played physical against the Knicks, and the Knicks have not handled it well.
Second quarter specifically, the Knicks were outscored 37-20. Third quarter, outscored 36-24.
Yep.
Down 18, as we mentioned. They almost came back. They were within 3 with 2:40 to go. Take us through the fourth quarter.
Well, yeah, it was Mikal Bridges just playing, just making unbelievable shots.
He was lights out.
Nobody else has it going here, so I'm going to just put the team on my back. Jalen Brunson, very uncharacteristic night. Shot the ball 6 for 21, and they were a lot of good looks. But Mikal Bridges just picked up the slack. Karl Anthony Towns, no answer for him, by the way. Celtics were playing small. They don't have a guy that could guard him. But Mikal just nailing those triples. Just nothing but the back iron, nothing but net. Just big-time play by
Jordan Walsh, by the way.
Huge key plays.
This guy is just effort player, effort plays. 2 big offensive rebounds that turn things, and the ball movement here, Wally, right? And that's, again, a big 3. Every time the Knicks were pushing and pushing, the Celtics had a good offensive possession. But, again, Mikal Bridges was just in fuego.
He was, and he just continued to look to be aggressive, which I loved. That's just a play by Jordan Walsh, who's not known for his scoring. Took 4 shots, made all 4 of them. Little miscommunication.
Heater.
Yep. Just keep knocking them down. That shot cut the lead to 3.
That's bad.
But then off the inbounds, Jalen got lost. There was no one to protect the rim. That pushed the lead up to 5, and then the Knicks just couldn't get any closer. It was a electric game, but one of the games where you could tell the Celtics came in and they said, we lost early on to this Knicks season, to the Knicks. We're a new team. We're going to show the Knicks that we're still around, despite the fact losing some personnel and having Jason Tatum being injured. And they came out on a mission, and they sent the Knicks a message that the Celtics are still the Celtics.
The Knicks made threes. They did what they like to do. They knocked their threes down, all that stuff. But the problem, you mentioned the shooting from 2. How about in the paint? Boston scored 56 points in the paint, 28 of 34. That's 82% in the paint. There's got to be more resistance than that, right, in the painted area. And the Knicks really got stretched out. And you said it. It's something in that second quarter that really almost was on repeat. Jaylen Brown got hot because he was seeking matchups.
Yep.
He was looking for Tyler Kolek, he was looking for Jalen Brunson, and he was looking for Karl Anthony Towns. That's all he was doing, and they were getting switches, And he got into a rhythm, and the whole game turned right there.
Jaylen Brown, guys, only had 4 points in the first quarter, finished with a season-high 42. Tonight's thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. As you mentioned, they just couldn't stop him. He had 38 points in quarters 2 through 4 out.
Yeah, he's running off screens, Wally, right? Like, that's just, again, no resistance at the rim. Tyler Kolek, so it's a green light.
Is this a thrilling moment or 5
This
thrilling
is a
moments?
chilling
I don't
moment.
want to see all these thrilling moments.
Chilling.
It's supposed to only be one moment. And this is the moment that I'm going to remember.
Oh,
Just
my.
absolutely throwing it down on everyone in the Knicks uniform. Jalen Brunson switched on to Jaylen Brown the whole entire second quarter. Big problem
And
there.
here, watch, hand down, man down, right? You get
Big
you're big on him.
mismatch. In the first quarter, he had 4 points because he had Bridges on him the whole time. But then when the Knicks go to their bench, they're playing Josh Hart at the 4, excuse me, and then Mitch on an island again, looking like he's trying to guard Franz Wagner in that situation, which is a tough assignment for him. And Jaylen Brown just took advantage and got himself going. Look at those numbers. Outstanding
The fact that
efficiency.
all of it's within 2, right? 2 of 6 from 3. He didn't kill you from 3, but it's everything he did inside the arc, and especially in the paint.
Celtics have now won 7 out of 9. Knicks hit the quarter pole. Hard to believe. 13-7. 13-7. 20 games already being played.
Yeah.
And the one thing I think we
3
can
and
say
6 on the road. That's
10-1 at home, 3 and 6 on the road.
That's
the
the problem.
physicality of the opponent at times has been the problem.
We have noticed that. And the Knicks are going to see the Orlando Magic on Sunday. They've got 2 games coming up. They're back-to-back. So you have the Hornets and the Jazz. So you got 2 teams with a losing record. But you play this game, and they just showed you we're going to play you physical, and the Knicks don't like it. Orlando did the same thing to them. Chicago, you remember earlier in the season, did the same thing to them. They're hitting first. They have got to learn how to adjust to that kind of defense and that kind of physicality. It is something that they talked about. Toronto was doing it in the second quarter on Sunday, and a lot of the players after the game in the locker room when I was doing the interviews, they were all referencing that our physicality wasn't where it needed to be in that second quarter. They turned it up in the third quarter and second half, were able to win the game. They turned it up later in this game, but it was too late.
All right, let us now say hello to Monica McNutt. She's in Boston. She helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, what do you think about the physicality tonight being so important to the Celtics being able to beat the Knicks?
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it. But am I the only person that's not, like, alarmed? I mean, I caught the end of your conversation, so let me not put emotions on you. I actually thought this was a good game. I thought it was well played. Yes, were the Celtics more physical? Yeah, but OG Anunoby, Landry Shamet are unavailable. Jalen Brunson had, I don't know, 40% of what you're accustomed to from Jalen Brunson in terms of performing when it matters. And, come on, y'all, the emotional charging here, like, to start the game, Joe Mazzulla pregame tried to say that he didn't watch any of the series last year, right? Which we all know is an absolute lie. It was so emotional in here from the part of Boston. And frankly, look at the way that Jaylen Brown started the basketball game. Terribly. Now, give him his credit because he settled down and led the way. But I just think there was so much juice, so much emotion on the part of Boston. And that's what you saw in terms of the energy. I thought the Knicks actually did a decent job of matching the physicality. I agree with Hahn that maybe it came a little too late. But Mikal Bridges going 7 for 10 from the three-point line, like, that's a game that you typically win, if not for some, we'll call them outliers tonight in terms of other guys' performances, and not just Brunson. Over this 4-game win streak, the bench has been far more productive than it was tonight.
I'm with you, Monica. I think we were reminded of how hard it is to win at TD Garden in Boston. I mean, Knicks are getting accustomed to going up there and stealing games in the playoffs, but I just thought overall that that this Boston team was on a mission. They really were. They all 100%. The hustle plays, they got them. They went after the Knicks in a lot of different situations, and the Knicks are going to have. And the other concerning thing to me is the Knicks are small. And good teams are going to find a way to exploit mismatches when the Knicks are small at every position. And they come in the second quarter, Kolek, McBride, Josh Hart at the 4. Yes, Towns is out there, but it's not a big team. And you can get switches and you can go mouse in the house, and that's, I think, where the game turned because the Knicks don't have size at some positions.
Yeah, Monica is scolding us and taking some things out of context. But I love you for that because it is something it's game 20, and you knew, we said in pregame, what are the Knicks walking into tonight because you know it'll be emotional. The Celtics want to send a message, and it took a quarter for them to really get it going. But when I'm talking about the physicality part in that second quarter and the lack of response, like, to me, that's what I was concerned with because it's not the first time we've seen it We've seen teams like Orlando, physical teams, will do this to them.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, the concern part, because as Wally said, they do play small lineups. They do want to play small and fast, and you got to be able to adjust if a team is going to try to push you around.
Yeah.
That's what I think the point we're trying to make there.
Yeah, and Hahn, I agree with you, because are you now getting tape of you being pushed around? And I think that's totally fair. But I do think tonight was a very unique experience, right? As this team gets healthy, I mean, OG Anunoby has no problem playing physical. I mean, for that matter, neither does Landry Shamet, while he doesn't necessarily present the same way physically. I also, guys, as the game was winding down, I thought back to what Mikal Bridges said. I guess that wasn't after shoot around, but prior to this game, in terms of going on the road, is when you really are going to have the opportunity to be tested. And so I thought tonight represents healthy adversity. There were points where I was like, gosh, I feel like last year in Atlanta when I was like, God, Atlanta's so big, because the Celtics were able to go big. I was actually surprised when I looked down and realized Peyton Pritchard actually played 30 minutes, because it felt like he played less, because they did a good job of hiding him and putting, the Minotts and the Walshes right out in front on the basketball, creating a lot of pressure. But frankly, Derek White got himself together. He's not been playing and shooting the ball that well either. And so he comes into this one and has a good game. It's a little bit of a perfect storm, but I think there's a lot of good to take away from this one. And when I say good, I mean things that you can look at, adjust, and grow through. Not necessarily things you'll pat yourself on the back floor, but good film to grow from.
And now Bridges said, what Monica's referencing is Bridges after the game against the Raptors said, having an attitude and grit to win on the road is more important to me.
Yeah. Well, Bridges had 30 of his 35 in the second half, career high 8 threes, so he did his part. Monica, thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Knicks will host the Charlotte Hornets.
Sounds good.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hear post-game comments from Knicks coach Mike Brown and Wally and Alan from the Wally Wall, breaking down a couple of key sequences from tonight's game.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone. The Celtics beat the Knicks 123-117, despite a season-high 35 from Mikal Bridges. With more, let's go to the Wally Wall with Alan and Wally, guys.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, let's talk about Mikal Bridges, because there were several times that the Boston Celtics were trying to put the Knicks away, and Mikal Bridges said no. He got on a heater, knocked down some big threes, and we're going to show one sequence where you get a good stop, and then you get a Bridges three.
Yeah, and it starts with Bridges' defense. Bridges matched up against Jaylen Brown. This is what the Knicks needed to do. I love how they handle this. Freeze it here. Look at that situation, the way Jalen Brunson pushes Brown out towards half court. That's a great job, so then he can get Bridges over to him, and now he can go retreat. That little extra play, too, by Deuce McBride. Now, this is when the Celtics are going to struggle because they don't have creators. Good defense. Now, after the rebound, look at everyone blocking out. Rebound goes to Deuce McBride. He gets it to Jalen Brunson. Now, freeze it right here. I want you to keep an eye on Mikal Bridges in the corner. He doesn't just stand in the corner. He kind of moves, and this is where you can catch the Celtics defense not allowing them to be physical because they're not set. They're a little confused. Good drag screen by Karl Anthony Towns. He rolls to the basket. This was possibly open. And then as long as you keep movement and exchanges, you're going to confuse the Celtics defense because they don't know who they're guarding. There's confusion by Hugo Gonzalez, and also Jaylen Brown leads to the big three by Mikal Bridges, one of his 8 threes, career high, 35 points, 30 in the second half. That was some outstanding play on both ends of the floor by the Knicks, and specifically Mikal.
The Knicks ended up getting 41 points in that fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough to make the comeback. Here's now is Knicks coach Mike Brown's thoughts, presented by Chase.
I thought, the second and third quarter, we didn't play up to the level that we're capable of, which is going to happen. I thought we came out in the first quarter, did a great job with our physicality and keeping them off the glass and moving the basketball. And in the second and third quarter, we didn't do that. I thought their bench was really good, impacting the game. Obviously, Jaylen Brown had a huge game for them with 42 points, but the unsung heroes are the guys that really impacted the game. I thought it was a young kid, Josh McNutt. He did a great job knocking down open threes when the ball got swung to him. He did a nice job defensively. Even Sam Hauser, his 2 threes were really big for them. Those guys are combined 5 for 8 from the three-point line. If you take those guys away, the team was 8 for 32, which is pretty good. Jordan Walsh impacted the game at a high level with his 4 offensive rebounds. I thought he had a really good game. We just couldn't get it done defensively in the fourth. Our guys did a great job fighting back. We couldn't get it done defensively in the fourth. Jalen stepped up and hit some big shots. Jordan, like I said, got an offensive rebound. Got offensive rebounds, but at the end of the day, 56 points in the paint, especially when they shot 32.5% from the three-point line. It's going to be a tough night to allow them to continue to get to the paint, to score. And then, every turnover that we had, they made us pay. We had 12 turnovers, which isn't a high number, but to be able to score 25 points off those 12 turnovers meant that our floor balance wasn't great. Going the other way when we turned the ball over. So we, give those guys credit. Heck of a job by the Celtics, by Coach Mazzulla and the rest of his staff and the players. Give them credit for the win. We know we can play better, and hopefully we will tomorrow.
Obviously, a rough shooting night for Jalen. What do you think? Was it something the Celtics were doing? Was it, why do you think his shots were off today?
I felt he got the normal looks that he normally takes. I mean, he's got to keep shooting them. He's got to keep getting to his spots. I thought he got to his spots. I thought he took good threes too, and they just didn't go in, and that happens sometimes. So a guy like him, he's got to keep letting it fly if he's open, or if he gets to the spots.
I think through 3 quarters they were shooting 80% inside the arc as a team.
Yeah.
The guys have talked about the last 4 games, how their defensive communication has improved. They felt their on-ball defense has improved. Was it more communication than approach at the point of attack in your eyes when you were looking through those second and third quarters with how the Celtics were able to get to the hoop?
A couple of times there was some communication issues, but that's going to happen throughout the course of the game. We've been really good with our shifts, and we weren't as good tonight. I mean, think about the times that whether it was Jalen or anybody else driving the basketball, split two defenders. Or got outside of the defender, and we didn't have anybody there to trap the box. So it was more our shifts weren't great, whether it was a shift to the midpoint line to trap the box if somebody got outside of the defender, or it was a shift, when you're one pass away from the ball to where we didn't shift good enough and we just allowed a guy to split us. I thought those were probably the 2 biggest things defensively with the pain points. Yeah.
Took over, just kind of what you saw from him.
No, he was feeling it, and he was aggressive, and I thought our guys did a great job trying to find him, and he hit some big shots for us. He was one of the guys that kind of willed us back into the game offensively.
Welcome back, everyone. The Celtics tonight beat the Knicks 123-117. Another excellent game as a starter for Josh Hart. 7 of 11 shooting, 19 points. Here he is now after the game.
Josh, what was working well in the first and fourth quarters as you were coming back, but not so much in the middle of the game?
I think we had a good physicality, and I felt like we took more pride defensively. I think that we got off to a good start, and then we relaxed, and same thing in the third.
Back now from the corner 3 presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. So the Knicks, Alan, they won the first quarter 32-21.
Yeah.
They won the fourth quarter 41-29.
And everything in between.
Too bad they had to play the second and the third quarter.
And what Hart brought up there, again, we want to just make it clear, it wasn't the first through fourth quarter physicality. That second quarter, you saw, and Wally talked about it, it is Jaylen Brown seeking out matchups. Mm-hmm. The Knicks had a smaller bench lineup out there, and they were just picking on guys that couldn't guard. They were switching, and that was a major problem they could not adjust to.
I know the Boston Celtics philosophy is we can win games in the regular season with our depth and with our bench. They moved Simons to the bench, they load up the bench, and they really hurt the Knicks with their bench, key contributors and plus-minus guys.
Brunson tonight only 6 of 21, a season-low 15 points. Jaylen Brown for the Celtics, a season-high 42. Boston wins it 123-117.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone. The Knicks back home tomorrow night. Charlotte is the opponent. Pre-game at 7, game at 7:30. A big night in the arena, Garden of Dreams night, and also for the network, it's our Garden of Dreams fundraiser night tomorrow night. All the details tomorrow. Pre-game at 7, game at 7:30 right here on MSG, and also stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports app. So you got Charlotte coming tomorrow night, Utah Friday. Note the start time against Orlando on Sunday. It's a noon start, 11:30 a.m. pregame. And then the quarterfinal of the NBA Cup at Toronto next Tuesday. We have that. Pregame at 8, game at 8:30. We will be back to wrap things up on the Audi Knicks postgame after this. All right, guys. Next 2 against Charlotte, Allen, and Utah on Friday. Knicks 10-1 at home, and both those teams obviously very beatable.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do is you got to just take these games one at a time. We are now through a quarter of the season, so you're starting to see the identity of the team.
It's a back-to-back. You know, you got to travel back home, emotional win, expended a lot of energy in the fourth quarter to get back into the game. Charlotte really struggling. Knicks smoked them down in Charlotte. They better be ready to play tomorrow night at home.
Yeah, score night before Thanksgiving at Charlotte. Knicks 129, Charlotte 101. Rematch tomorrow night, and tomorrow night is our Garden of Dreams fundraiser night. We'll see you for the pregame at 7, game at 7:30. You can also stream our coverage tomorrow and always on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.